And here to talk about all of this, we do want to bring in our NFL insider, Ryan Wilson, to talk about bold predictions for Week 7. And Ryan, starting off with Christian McCaffrey, give us your prediction for him in his 49ers debut.
Well, Jacqueline, when I was talking to producer Noah about this yesterday, my bold prediction was that Christian McCaffrey would be traded. That's no longer bold. It's actually happened. I didn't really say that, but it would make me sound smart by just putting that out there into the atmosphere. So here's the bold prediction. And first, let's say this. Kyle Shanahan was asked about this earlier, and he said, I'm still up in the air if we'll get him on the field on Sunday, talking about Christian McCaffrey. He said it with all the energy of Panthers GM Scott Fitterer saying, yeah, we expect to win football games. We both know that neither is true. Christian McCaffrey will be out there almost certainly. The Panthers probably aren't going to win any more football games, but that's a conversation for another time. So what does this mean for C-Mac on Sunday? The bold prediction, Jacqueline, hold on to your seats here. He's going to score. He'll rush for a touchdown. He does that. He's also going to catch a touchdown. He'll have a receiving touchdown as well. So 2 touchdowns on limited work because he's only going to have been there for 48 hours or so. And I think that is going to set the course for the rest of the season for this 49ers team. Now, a little backstory here. The last time that C-Mac had a touchdown catch and reception in the same game, Week 9 of 2020. The team he was playing, the old Kansas City Chiefs there. So a little synergy there. The issues, of course, are the injuries, but I think if he can stay healthy, he could be the difference maker that Kyle Shanahan's looking for, and it's going to start on Sunday. Limited snaps, but he's going to make the most of those snaps with a touchdown catch and a touchdown run for old Christian McCaffrey. First game with the old 49ers there.
Okay, so we'll see if C-Mac can get those 2 touchdowns. But moving on to the Jets and the Broncos. We have the Jets playing a second straight road game after upsetting the Packers last week. So, Ryan, is it time for a letdown, or are they just going to continue on that winning streak?
Not yet. Not time for the letdown just yet. When I looked at these lines earlier in the week, the Jets were actually getting a point against the Broncos. That's now moved. They're -1, the Jets are. That tells you the situation that the Broncos in, but also underlines how well this Jets team is playing, and they have a chance to get to 5-2, the Jets do, for the first time since 2010. So you go back to that 2010 team. Rex Ryan was the coach. Mark Sanchez, the young quarterback, was under center, and that team in 2010 relied on what? A strong running game and a really good defense to get all the way to the AFC Championship game. Guess what this 2022 Jets team relies on? A strong running game and a really good defense surrounded by that young quarterback, Zach Wilson. I think we're going to see more of that. Lean on the defense, lean on Breece Hall in that running game, and go from there. Zach Wilson will continue to get better each and every week, I feel like. And on the other side, ton of concerns, obviously. It starts with Nathaniel Hackett and Russ Wilson. Russ Wilson has a hamstring injury now. We'll see how that plays out. But I don't have a lot of faith in this Broncos team, and I have a lot of faith in the Jets. And I'm laughing because we're headed into Week 7, and that's the sentence that I just said out loud.
All right, so moving on to one team that has just been on a roll so far this season, the New York Giants. They're second in the NFC East, just behind the Eagles. So, Ryan, they're actually a 3-point road dog against my Jacksonville Jaguars. So I want to know, am I going to be a happy Jags fan? Actually, saying that out loud sounds like an oxymoron, but Ryan, tell me how I'm going to be feeling after Sunday.
Well, if you have something else you'd rather do on Sunday afternoon, maybe you might want to do that based on the bold predictions. Here's the thing. Here's the great news, Jacqueline. According to the advanced metrics, our buddies at Football Outsiders, Jacksonville is one of the best teams in the league. They rank 8th in terms of value per play overall in offense and defense. And that's encouraging. I think Doug Peterson obviously has a lot to do with that, but they're still 2-4. And as Bill Parcells like to say, you are what your record says you are. The Giants, meanwhile, have a chance to get to, 6-1 for the first time since 2008. That season they went 12-4. That's certainly noteworthy. Here's the concerning thing about the Giants. They've been down in every single game they've won. The good news is they've won 5 of those games. And their victories have come by 1, 3, 8, 5, and 4 points. There have been no blowouts. That said, Daniel Jones is playing a lot better. Saquon Barkley is healthy, playing a lot better. That defense has found ways to get after it. The offense is having success, even though they don't have all of their playmakers there. Kadarius Toney, Kenny Golladay hasn't certainly lived up to expectations yet. And Brian Daboll is the most important piece to this puzzle. And I think it's going to be a matchup of head coaches as much as anything. First-year head coaches in Doug Peterson and, of course, Brian Daboll. And I think the Giants are going to come out ahead and move to 6-1. As you see right there, for the first time since 2008, the year before that, in 07, they won that Super Bowl, of course. I think certainly Giants fans would settle for another 12-win season and another trip back to the playoffs.
The Giants 4-0 straight up as the underdog this season. Right, moving along to Seahawks and the Chargers. Now the Chargers, they've won 3 straight. They haven't really been pretty. And meanwhile, the Seahawks, they're coming off that win against the Cards in Week 6 as the underdog. So Ryan, are you writing Geno and the Seahawks off?
Never. I learned my lesson. Geno didn't write back, and I took that as a personal affront. And look, here's what I call him from now on because he's earned it, Jacqueline. Eugene Cyril Smith III. That's how good he has been. He feels like the third now with the level in which he's playing. He leads the NFL in completion percentage, which is crazy. He's third in passer rating at 108. Justin Herbert's at 93.1, which ranks 12th. He's second to Brady only in touchdown to interception ratios, 4.5 touchdowns per interception for Eugene Cyril Smith III. And it is a fantastic story in a post-Russ Wilson world in the Pacific Northwest. And Geno looks unfazed. He looks like the quarterback coming out of West Virginia that had a huge chip on his shoulder when he lasted into the second round of that 2013 draft and ended up on that Jets team. And I think this is sort of bleeding into the rest of the team. Pete Carroll, we know, is extremely positive and is always getting the best out of his players. He's getting the best out of Geno Smith, and I think Geno Smith's going to outplay Justin Herbert, who has certainly been good this year and is a franchise quarterback and will probably play for the next 15 years at a high level. But I think on this particular Sunday, Geno Smith's going to outplay him. And the Seahawks have a legit case as being the best team or one of the best teams in the NFC West, and they'll have a chance to prove that on Sunday with Eugene Cyril Smith III balling out once again.
And Ryan, finally, we have to get your upset of the week. We're talking Dolphins, Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Tua makes his return. Looks like Kenny Pickett will start for the Steelers. Now, we want to talk about this Black Air Force energy. Are the Steelers going to get that back? I have to admit, I didn't even know what that was until after the Bengals game. Zach has been giving me some grief for it. But what is your upset here, Ryan?
No, I appreciate the question. That's the one I didn't hear you ask it earlier. I get it. Yeah. I heard Air Force. I was a little concerned there were some military implications. So here's the thing. At the start of the season, Mike Tomlin bought everyone on the team Black Air Force Ones on their first game. And they won that game. And the lesson there is you have to keep buying Black Air Force Ones each and every week. It's a sign of solidarity. We're going, us against the world type thing. For the subsequent 4 weeks, they must have wore their white Air Force Ones because they got summarily smoked in each one of those games. Last week, they somehow beat Tom Brady. I don't know how that happened. And they did it without 3 of their starting defensive backs. Kenny Pickett left in the third quarter. Mr. Trubisky came out there looking like Josh freaking Allen. It was incredible. And I think that's going to bleed over. And, people get on Mike Tomlin for not being an X's and O's guy or in-game management being a struggle for him at times. I know that makes fans frustrated when you watch certain games. But what he can do better than anyone else is motivate his team. And I think they bought in that, we can save this thing. And they're going up against Tua, who hasn't played because of the concussions in recent weeks. They're getting their quarterback back in Kenny Pickett. And I think there's some momentum there. So I think we could see a situation where they win 2 in a row. They'll try to crawl their way back to 500. And again, they're only 1 game back in a competitive division in the AFC North. So I think this is an opportunity to make that move. They should play in their Black Air Force Ones if it gives them a better chance to win. I'd be down for that for sure.
All right, Ryan going with the Steelers over the Dolphins. That is our NFL insider, Ryan Wilson. Thank you so much, Ryan. And you can catch Ryan on the Pick 6 podcast. In the latest episode, the guys are recapping Thursday Night Football with the Cards and the Saints. You can listen and download wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.